What's up, guys? How you doing? Cowboy Crunk coming to you live from Kabul, Afghanistan. I'm gonna let the stream roll here a minute so I can open the live stream and get the chat box rolling. See who's here. So far, just getting started, so no one in the box yet, but I will get the show started. If you're watching the replay of the video, just give it a few minutes. We'll get started here. Uh, all right, here we go. Chat box is
Watching the
open.
replay of the
Things
video,
rolling.
just give it a
Um, do want to say I keep getting uh, these live chat interruptions because of the game. So I cannot show the game. I'm probably showing a little more than I should right now. So I'm gonna actually even turn this just a little bit. I think I'm okay with that right there. You guys can't see much. Uh, the game's over. You guys know the outcome of the game. We ended up playing very well this week. Complete different game. So we went over that. We beat that horse and that pony, whatever. At least we had a very good week. It's been good to walk around with a win on our shoulder. I've had our foreign dignitaries in today. Our VIPs came in today, and everything went great. Had a Cowboy fan there. He was good to hear. It was good to he's trying to follow the Cowboys but traveling. He was happy to hear we had a victory and how good it looked. I kind of talked about the game for a few minutes with him. But anyways, guys, I do want to jump on this Seattle thing. Also, as you guys know, injury report update. Really, everybody's looking okay, except for Travis Frederick is the only thing. What's up, guys? How you doing, David Porter? Welcome to the page, brother. Golden Heart always in the house. Nice to see you. Fire TV, how are you? The Giants are a terrible team. The Cowboys are about to go. The Cowboys are about to go 5-11. Oh, come on, man! You gotta have better faith in us than that, man. The next three games we play, uh, Seattle's 0-2, Detroit's 0-2, Houston's 0-2. So that was one of the
the next
points
the
I wanted
next
to
three
come
games
across.
we play.
That was one of the points I wanted to come across. Is I do want to check my headphones. Am I working here? Check, check, 1 2, check. Does the sound feed sound okay, guys? I'm having trouble just making sure I'm not getting any feedback. If I'm getting any feedback, let me know, and I've got to shut this computer off. Um, but anyways, we got Seattle this week. We're looking to put them in the basement with 0-3. If we can get that done, and they have a few other games on their schedule that could be tough. The October 30 deadline is still the deadline for us to try to get something done with Earl Thomas. That's becoming more likely again due to the fact that there's not a lot of players out there we could go out and get. Hey, thank you, Calvin X. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. If you guys aren't part of the channel, subscribe to the channel, like and join. I've got my videos rolling again. I found a different way to download videos, so I can do videos as well as the live stream now. I do a lot of live streams because I like to keep involved with you guys and discuss things. The Earl Thomas thing has been up and down. It's been crazy, but we'll see where that goes. It's popping back up again because Seattle's season could be over if they lose this week to us. Two things: they'll be 0-3, and we're off their schedule, so we're behind them as far as the season goes. That game is behind them, is what I'm saying. And Earl Thomas, that trade is popping back up again, especially if Seattle doesn't start winning. They might as well throw this season out and get something for Earl Thomas that'll help them next year because they know he's going to walk away. They know that for a fact. 90% chance unless they offer him the moon, the stars, and
Because they know he's going to walk.
unless they offer him the moon, the stars, and the world, he's walking away. He doesn't want to be there. So we should pick up Earl Thomas next year, but there's a chance if our secondary does look really good. So there is a chance they decide, hey, let's just wait till next year and roll with what we got. And the reason I say that is, guys, this is what we got coming up. We got Prescott's contract, Elliott's contract, Demarcus Lawrence, and Byron Jones. And there's been a lot of talk about Byron Jones and people, not wanting him around and this and that with Byron Jones. But now he switched to corner, and Chris Richard is there, and he's shutting down players like OBJ and we've got guys on the schedule coming up like Julio Jones. Byron Jones has found a spot on this team, and Byron Jones is not going anywhere. The Giants. I wanted to get to the chat box real quick. What do you think about Rico playing more snaps? Rico needs to play more snaps. I like to see Blake Jarwin fall on his face because this is exactly what the Cowboys fans have been asking for. We want Rico out there. We want something exciting on the offense, and no one gives us that right now. Rico gives us that exciting playmaker on our offense. And I'm hoping Brice Butler will bring that to us as well. So that's why I threw Rico Gathers and Brice Butler in this in the title of the video, is because I think those are two guys that can really help us coming in. Hey, what's up, Marty 10K? How you doing? Welcome to the channel. Nice to see you, man. The news is Cowboys got Seattle coming up 0-2, Detroit 0-2, and Houston 0-2. We really should take these next three games. The one thing, all three of these teams have pretty good quarterbacks, and actually very good quarterbacks. So our secondary is going to get challenged. The third game, of course, actually the next two games are really going to be good training games for our defensive line. Those hot boys are going to have to chase around Earl Thomas. I keep saying every time I see the word Seahawks, I think Earl Thomas. Russell Wilson. They're going to chase around Russell Wilson. Matt Stafford, as you know, he's not very elusive. I think Detroit, we're gonna definitely clean them up. And then Houston, chasing around Deshaun Watson is going to be difficult. So hopefully we can make him have some errant throws. Get him out of the pocket early, make him have to run the ball a little bit. But we'll see. How you doing, Karen? Hey, welcome. Hadn't seen you in a while. How you doing? Hope you're maybe in your lunch hour or something. I would love to see ET run into our locker room after the game again. Yeah, yeah, that would be funny. I would rather see him on our sideline with a cowboy with a helmet, a star on his helmet. But yeah, I think that'll happen definitely next year, if not. Truckee in the house. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live stream. Another thing I did want to mention is, we haven't seen a lot of Jordan Lewis here, and that's a Michigan guy. He's close to Taco Charlton. I cannot mention one of the hot boys, Taco Charlton, without saying, let's go hot boys. Hey, nicknamed, like it or not, those hot boys are on, man. 6 sacks, 8 hurries. Eli Manning was stunned. Eli Manning, like I said, I've said it in both the other videos, Eli Manning played very well, and we still won. That's a very good sign for us. That means even if Eli Manning has a good game, we can still shut down the rest of the team. And Eli Manning normally doesn't have a good game against the Cowboys. So our secondary played very well, even though he completed 33 passes. Most of those were checkdowns. Most of the passes that Eli Manning completed were checkdowns. So that's very good. Yeah, we got Irving coming back. We got Randy Gregory coming back. Randy Gregory should play this weekend. He's practicing this week, along with Malik Collins had a small injury, but they say he's okay. Also, Xavier Woods will be back this week, guys. So we're getting stronger week by week. We're going into a weak part of our schedule. We really need to win these next 3 games because these are games we should win. Now, as I predicted earlier in the season, before the season started, looking at our schedule, there's going to be games we win that we should win, and then there's going to be 50-50 games. On the 50-50 games, I think there was 6 of them. I gave us 50-50, 3-3. So, and then there was 5 games that I think we should automatically win, and I thought we might lose one of those. So I had us going 12-4 for the season. That's my prediction. I still think it's there. Actually, the Carolina game was one of the 50-50 games, and I think we got that game out of our system. You guys remember last year we had the Detroit game where we just played horrible. And I mean, after that game, it was so horrible. We were like, man, the season's over. Even though it was our second game of the season, we looked so bad. It's scary sometimes, guys. Sometimes the team plays so bad it's scary, and I think we've got that out of our system. I think they've got the rhythm down. I think they know Dak is out of the closet. I hope they watch the film from this week and learn we've got to throw the ball down the field a little bit. We've got to let Dak out of the cage, get him off of these eggshells, and let him throw the ball. Good afternoon, Juan Mendez, how you doing? David Porter, this is my first time on the chat, but I'm going to be on here every time I see you on chat. Hey, thank you, brother. I just like to do updates. I like to talk to the fans. Karen's on here a lot. CT Cowboy, I've seen him before. I have a lot of regulars on here, and I like to use you guys and chat, and I like to talk about what you guys want to talk about. I'll always put a title up on the subscription of the video or the live stream and let you know what it's about. But I also like to talk to you guys. I call you guys my crunk family, and that's what it is. We're all Cowboy fans here. We even welcome non-Cowboy, football fans, as long as it doesn't get too crazy. I'd like to give a shout out to Mark Holmes. Mark Holmes is the guy that I met at the draft and kind of got me started. I like what he does. I like his channel. I like everything about him. He's really, really a kind and nice guy, and I'm sure all of you guys are part of his channel already. So yeah, it is harder than I thought. I will tell you this. I sit down. I do a couple hours. I sit down and read for a couple hours before I start a video, just so I can get things straight. But yeah, Dak needs to play his game. But that's what I'm saying, Karen. I don't know where this is coming from. I know when Dak started, it was kind of he got thrown in the fire. Romo got hurt and they threw him in there, and they kind of knew there was a chance of Romo getting hurt. But I know for a fact they brought him in. They said, "Be careful. Do your check downs. Take care of the ball. As long as you don't turn the ball over, just give the ball to Ezekiel Elliott." And they kind of think they stick into that too much. Dak has to be a threat to the defense. If we don't have some kind of passing threat, if when we take the snap, if the defense is looking across at our offense and going, "Hey, nobody's going to hurt us but Ezekiel Elliott." Their receivers, their tight ends aren't going to do anything because Dak's not going to throw the ball to them. All they're going to do is throw check downs, throw these bubble screens, and they're not going to stretch the field. The safeties are going to move up, the corners are going to move up and block they're going to pick up your receivers right off the snap, and you're going to have nothing. You're just going to be stuck. Especially if you don't, you've got to get one of those safeties, or excuse me, you got to get one of those wide receivers to break loose and take a play to the house. And that's how we started the game last week with Tavon Austin taking that play 75 yards, and that got the offense rolling. And we really needed that first play. Um, Thanks, Guy. Cowboy Crunk family. How you doing? Cowboy family, yeah. Where we at? Where we at? Yeah, I think 11-5, 10-6. I'm hoping for 12-4. That will win us the division. We got to get our offense going. We sure do. Our offense right now does not look good. This is what plays into our schedule. These next 3 weeks, our defense should be able to take care of Seattle, Detroit, and Houston. I think our defense can handle those guys. That'll allow our offense to play a little bit, test some things, push the boundaries, throw the ball down the field a little bit, and check what our offense can do. Kind of like run some test plays. Also, as you guys know, Sean Lee, and I read this today, I read an article on it. Sean Lee's not playing his normal Sean Lee self. He has missed some tackles. He only has 9 tackles through 3 games, or 2 games, excuse me. Leighton Vander Esch has 7 tackles in the very limited time he's played. Now that could be luck. It's a small sample. It's only 2 games, but it's kind of not a good thing. But it is good to see the young guys stepping up. They are expecting to start cutting Lee's play back a little bit. I think they're going to start cutting Sean Lee's play back just a little bit and trying to get Leighton Vander Esch in there more. And 2 things that'll help Sean Lee be a little more healthy every game. It's going to bring Leighton Vander Esch's play level up a little bit. And if there's important plays, a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, situations like that, you put Sean Lee back in, and you have him fresh. So these are big things I was looking at. Also, the Jordan Lewis situation. He has not played much. There has been talks of possibly he may be gone before the trade deadline, and the reason is we're kind of deep at corner, and they're happy with Brown, and their thought is uh, if they can play Brown to cover the slot more, there's still a high value trade for Jordan Lewis because he's so young and he's just coming in from the draft. So there is a possibility they're looking at trading Jordan Lewis. He's one of the names out there where he's got a high trade value, but the Cowboys aren't using him too much yet. So he would be likely to be traded before that trade value goes down or before other teams find out maybe he's not what they thought he was. Uh, or he's just not fitting in Chris Richard's system, and we should get something for him. I'm not sure why, but he's only played one snap all season. So Earl coming early next week. Bold prediction. Hey, I've made that same prediction, Dan, like 3 times. But there was 3 times the time was right. There really was. There was 2 times that the time to go get Earl Thomas was right, and the Cowboys didn't do it. And that's why I've said, you guys know he made the statement. Earl Thomas made the statement. He feels very thoroughly disrespected. And I can almost assure you, he 90% of the disrespect he feels towards the 90% of the disrespect he feels towards Seattle. But I can tell you, he also is slightly disrespected by the Cowboys, and I'm going to tell you why. He came to our locker room, right? I'm going to look into the camera because this is serious. This is serious. Et, come home. There you go. But seriously, Seahawks didn't want until you played them. Yeah, that's a possibility too, of course. But check this out. This is another thing. We've needed a safety for a long time now. You guys know that. When Earl Thomas came to the locker room, and spoke to Jason Garrett. We needed a safety in the draft. We didn't look at a safety in the draft, not even once, not even in the 4th round. We took Dalton Schultz, we took Mike White. We could have got a decent safety in the 4th or 5th round, maybe in that area if you shop right. All through preseason, we never looked at a safety. All of these safeties that were available, we never looked at any of them. I want to hit the chat box, guys, but I got to finish this real quick. We never looked at safeties anytime. The reason we haven't looked at a safety all this time, we told Earl Thomas we would come and get him. He asked us to come get him. We told him we would come get him. And then when the price was too high, he kind of feels disrespected by the Cowboys as well because he thinks that price ain't too high. You guys come get me. I'm worth a 1st-round draft pick. We offered a 3rd. They said no. We offered a 2nd. They said no. This was very recently, the 2nd-round draft pick. They want a 1st. They wanted a 2nd and some change for a while. And when we offered them the 2nd and not the change, I don't know what happened that evening, but the next day we dropped our whole. I don't know what they meant by and some change. Evidently, if I have a video back where I was talking about Jerry Jones going out to his car and looking in his ashtray and getting the change out of there to make this Earl Thomas trade happen, because if they want a 2nd and some trade, this is the time to do it. So evidently, then the Khalil Mack trade happened. And when Khalil Mack went for 2 1st rounds, Seattle said, hey, if Khalil Mack is worth 2 1st-round picks, we got Earl Thomas. He's worth at least 1 1st-round pick. So I'm pretty sure Seattle is asking for a 1st-round pick, and that's why we completely backed off again. So this roller coaster of Earl Thomas has been up and down. There's been times the roller coaster was down, and we should have got on there, and we didn't. And now it went up again with the Khalil Mack trade, and now it's going down again because Seattle's 0-2. They're about to be 0-3 this weekend. If we put a serious ass whipping on them, that's another thing. If we put, hey, what's up, Bray? Yeah, he'll come next year for sure. Vach Lombardi in the house. Salute. Make 26 dough. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Khalil Mack, as you guys know, this trade thing has been up and down, and a lot of it's because of the other things going on in the NFL. The Khalil Mack trade, that raised the value of Earl Thomas. And when it raised the value of Earl Thomas, the Cowboys had to back off again because they had the trade pretty much locked and sealed earlier. So these are things, the reason we go up and down on these trades and the news changes. And you can say, well, one person said that we could have got him for a 2nd round. Well, we could have at one time. But at this point in time, they didn't take a 2nd round. And the value, just like gas, guys, just like gas and gold and those kind of things, the value changes. So cool and Doski Woskis. Hey, Botch Lombardi in the house. How you doing, bro? Um, and so the value of things changes, guys. That's just how it goes. That's how it is on any kind of business market. You have value on all kinds of things go up and down. But the situation with Jordan Lewis, this could be a guy that the Cowboys haven't played. He's still got pretty good trade value. Uh, Vach, if you're still here, have you heard anything on Jordan Lewis? I'm hearing a little bit. He could be, one of those players we don't use very much, but has trade value because he hasn't had very many snaps. He is an early round draft pick that probably has a pretty good name out there still. If we wanted to get value for him. So also we got Randy Gregory and David Irving. Those are two players I think we can keep on the roster at a pretty cheap price because, and I know guys, we people don't want to pick up these players that have personal problems or issues, but sometimes you look at them and they're of value, and you take that risk because you can pay them less because you can look them right in the eye and say, look guys, I can't pay you like I paid DeMarcus Lawrence because the production for David Irving is almost equivalent as far as per game. Per game, they're both averaging almost a sack per game. But you can't trust David Irving to be there. You can't trust Randy Gregory to be there. So you've got to look them in the eye and say, look, until you can prove to me you're going to be here and you're not going to get in trouble and you're not going to cause issues and you're not going to cause issues in the locker room. And I don't, when a guy sits out for 4 weeks and then comes back to this team off a suspension and you start starting him and playing him in front of players that have been there through OTAs and through practices and through mini camps, that causes a problem with your roster and a guy that's been there in the locker room and has created camaraderie with some other players, and you sit him down. You don't just piss that guy off, you piss off a few other guys. uh what's up, X Factor? How you doing, brother? Welcome in. Juan Mendez, hey Vach, met you back at the draft 18 along with Mark Holmes and Cowboy Crunk. Good game insight you got, bro. Yeah, Vach's level is up there, man. When it comes down to knowledge and watching and speaking about football, Vach is one of the tops. Mr. Truckee, hey Juan, we all were there. Yeah. Oh yeah, there was a lot of us. A lot of the guys I got here on the channel were at the draft, and I appreciate you guys being there. We had a blast. We will be at the draft coming up here in Nashville. That is my next planned vacation. I'm gonna be doing some vacations between now and then, but that one's a lock. We'll be there. Um, in addition to our next three games, like I said, guys, we got Seattle, Detroit, and Houston. All of those teams are 0-2 right now. We've got a very, very good opportunity to jump on this and be 4-1 and get a little advantage out of possibly having a weak schedule. This is also we're going to get to test our secondary. All three of these quarterbacks are pretty good guys that can sling the ball pretty good. Seattle, we should be able to get after Russell Wilson. Their line is not playing well. They gave up 5 sacks in the first half against Chicago, guys. 5 in the first half. If we can jump on them like that in the first half and get ahead, and then we cut the hot boys loose, it's gonna be a good ball game to watch. We should be happy for another week, and we should be rolling. So uh, jump in real quick on Detroit as well. They do not look good. Did not play well their first two games. Uh, Man, about the only team I can see that played worse than them last week was the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals. 34-0. The Rams are looking tough. I can't recall if we got the Rams on our schedule this year. I don't think we do. I highlighted 6 games. If anybody's at the schedule out there, if anyone can recall if we play the Rams and what week that is, I don't want to pull it up. I got too many things going here. The only way I can do it is stop the TV stream there. But I'm in Seattle, and the 12s are scared the hot boys to death, setting off their seats already. Hey, what's up, Dan Blott? Hey, man, you're going to have a good time this week. Just be careful if you go to the game or if you're wearing your Cowboys jerseys out there. The hot boys is for real, man. Hey, real quick, let me go into hot boy mode for you guys. And I even got the new blue. Only I have these. The new, check them out, the blue hot boy shades. So I'm representing my Cowboys. I got my blue Hot Boy shades on. I'm ready for the game. This is Hot Boy mode right here. Blue shades matching the jersey and the Hot Boy hoodie. So the Hot Boys are going to light it up this weekend. I cannot wait for them to catch fire. We had fun with Flowers this weekend. The Giants could not hold DeMarcus Lawrence. We're going to have Randy Gregory coming from the other side this week. Taco Charlton looks outstanding. Antoine Jones played well. He played well 2 weeks in a row. Antoine Woods, I'm sorry guys, Antoine Woods played well 2 weeks in a row. So I'm ready for this, man. It just cannot happen quick enough. I'm gonna stay in hot boy mode, but I'm gonna switch the glasses back because I can't see without my damn glasses. Yeah, light the bomb, baby. Wilson, not a statue like Eli. No, that's the thing. And I've heard no Rams this year. Thank you. That's what I thought because I recall the 6 games I was worried about. The Saints were one of them. Carolina was one of them. Seattle was one of them. There was 3 games that I threw up as a toss, a 50-50, and then the 6 games, excuse me, and then the other 12 games I had us, pretty much having a very good light schedule over those, maybe losing 2 or 3 of those, and the 50-50 games winning, 50% of those. So it's going like I said, 4-12 or maybe 11-5. Due to the Carolina game, I'm more speculating towards the 11-5 because we didn't play well at Carolina. I'm hoping we got that out of the way though. So Chicago is leading in sacks for the season. Crunk, they have 10. We have 8. We should pass them. I'm on the same page with you. I think this weekend we pass them up. This is really a good grade. Man, we keep having. I love the matchups every week. The thing about the matchups every week is last week, to me, the matchup was wanting to see, just overall in general, wanting to see the Hot Boys play. But the matchup was I wanted to see what Odell Beckham did, who we put on him, and if we were able to shut him down. And Eli Manning didn't even have time. That was one big thing. He didn't have time to look at Odell Beckham. He went straight to his check down too many times, and it was because the Hot Boys were in there. But as you guys recall, he had 9 targets, only 5 catches, and for very minimum yards, like 37 yards, I think, is what it was. So, we shut Odell Beckham down. Big salute to our, big salute to our corners, Byron Jones and Chidobe Awuzie, who looked amazing. One play that Chidobe Awuzie gave up, it wasn't his fault. He was in spot. He was on point. He played he played the ball perfect. It just was an amazing throw by Eli Manning, right into the bucket. Almost blocked by Chidobe Awuzie. So I'm really, really happy with our play all around as a team last week. Even last week, our coaching staff stepped up, guys. The play calling was better. The execution was better. Dak played better. Dak started the game aggressive. He went deep. He also he took those 2 read options, which we did not run the read option against Carolina at all. So guys, if we can replicate what we did this week, I think the Giants are a better team than Seattle. So if we can replicate what we did this week against Seattle, I really think we'll have a good game and our offense will break out. What's up, Tomahawk? How you doing, bro? Jason Darius, what's up, Crunk from Fort Worth? Hey, man, you're in the stomping grounds, man. You're in Love Your Blue country. You're in Blue Cowboy Nation property there. Davin Porter, is it me or if the Cowboys would have grabbed Josh Gordon, it would have been a bad pick? The bias against the Cowboys. I didn't like the Josh Gordon thing because I think it's the wrong time to bring something like that in. I think we're inconsistent right now. We don't need to bring in a new guy that we don't know how it's going to fit. I think he's an amazing athlete, bro. He was leading the NFL in receptions, yards at one time. But I really like the Brice Butler deal much better. I even read, and I wanted to read that article. That's one of the things I wanted to go to. Brice Butler stated that Brice Butler stated that Des Bryant told him to go back to the Cowboys. If they offered to you, go. And I want to read that article real quick, see if I can find it um, here, and I'll read parts of it to you guys. But Des Bryant, was one of the ones urging Cowboys sign. Here we go, wide receiver and defense better. Yeah, our defense is going to be better and deeper, and we brought in a receiver this week. Let me see if I can find it where it talks about Des Bryant. So sorry. Okay, here we go. In an interview with Fox Sports 1 back in January, Butler complained about the lack of opportunities in Dallas and said that he would have had more production than Des Bryant given the chance, and that eventually. Oh, no, that's not it. That is a Des Bryant quote. But when I read into this, I really was surprised. Des Bryant said, dude, if the Cowboys offer to bring you back, you better take it. And it's not that article. Let me see if I can find it here. Sorry, guys, I will find, but that was really interesting to me. I thought that was cool, because a lot of talk is about Des Bryant possibly coming back. So if Des Bryant, is pushing Butler in the back, saying, "Dude, you better go," that's like being at the water fountain and letting somebody cut in front of you when you want to drink, and that might be the last drink of water or whatever. I mean, I couldn't think of a way to explain it, but that was, if that's true, and I want to find that so I can read it to you guys. Where is it at? Where's the article I found that in? Maybe it was on this other page. Cowboys injuries. I will go over the injuries as well. Byron Jones, 20. I think it was on 24/7 here. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. One more paragraph up. Earl Thomas. Okay, it's likely played the role of decision not to trade the receiver. Period. But there is a great force that play in Dallas overall treatment of the role receiver position. Dallas Cowboys released Des Bryant was released because of the impact in the locker room. For all his faults, though, Bryant was reliable. He was never suspended. Man, where were they talking about the Brice Butler thing? I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, that was really surprising to me. They were talking about the Josh Gordon trade, and then they were talking about Brice Butler being re-signed, and then they talked about also Des Bryant urging, because the article stated that Brice Butler and Des Bryant worked with the what's his name, David Robinson, which is not the not the rebounder and scorer for the San Antonio Spurs, but he's the route runner guru that everybody talks about, that Des Bryant was working out with during the summer. Well, Brice Butler was there also, so they worked out together a lot in the summer, and it was kind of odd that, but exactly what Butler said is true. If Des Bryant wasn't there, he would have caught more passes. It's not a negative thing. It's like, I don't know. It's just a normal thing. If Ezekiel Elliott wasn't there, Rod Smith would get more carries. Of course. I mean, that makes sense. It's not like what Brice Butler said to me was so amazing or so super negative. I don't understand how people take this thing, these situations. Somebody will say, perhaps this should happen, and people take that and turn around and say, oh, this guy said that we should do this. No, he said perhaps. That means think about it. People got to really take things out of context sometimes, and they do, and it really makes statements that are normal seem real obscure and off the wall. But yeah, Des Bryant and Brice Butler worked out during the summer, and Des Bryant did tell Butler, hey, we worked out during the summer. If the Cowboys offer you an option to come back, you should take it. And it really is a testament to what being unemployed will do, what sitting out. And I know Des has turned down some offers, and it's just because the offers weren't right. It wasn't what he wanted. So that's where we stand. I want to go over the injury report real quick for the Cowboys, which there's not a lot, which is really outstanding. We got Brice Butler joining the team this week, healthy. We have coming back. We have Randy Gregory coming back to the team, healthy, off concussion protocol. We have Randy Gregory. Malik Collins had a small injury. The Cowboys don't seem to be too concerned about it. He's questionable, but I would really strongly think he is playing Sunday against Seattle. And really, that's about it. We got questionables, and as you guys know, Travis Frederick, everybody knows his situation. Oh, Xavier Woods. Uh, I really got to watch what I read because Xavier Woods here, it says he's questionable. He should be back against the Lions on Sunday. I'm like, what the hell does it? Then they say he's going to play this week, which is not the Lions, it's Seattle. Lions are the next week. And then it also states he's 32 years old. That's what made me look back. I said, hold on. This is his sophomore year. Xavier Woods, how can he be a 30? So I had to go back and check him out on Wikipedia. And yeah, dude is 23, not 32. So I guess they do have typos on here. So we might make statements sometimes that are incorrect as YouTubers. We're doing a lot of research and gathering things. But yeah, Xavier Woods is definitely not 32 years old. So that's where we stand, guys. We really don't have any outstanding. David Irving will be back against Houston. So J.J. Watt, we're coming up on the Houston game. J.J. Watt has not had a sack in 2 years. Today's the anniversary of that. That was really, really crazy to hear. He has not had a sack in 2 years. So J.J. Watt not having a sack in 2 years, and where we stand, we might be doing okay. What's up, Tomahawk? Okay, let me get back to the chat box. Croner, what are your thoughts on getting Josh Gordon and any changes? Des Bryant comes back. I think that's probably out the window now with us getting Brice Butler. I think that they were pretty happy with Deontay Moore. And, hopefully if Terrence Williams, I heard, does anyone have any news on Terrence Williams? I meant to Google that before I got on here and do some searches and send some messages out and ask a couple of my context questions on Terrence Williams. But if he gets suspended, if he gets any kind of suspension from the NFL, he's gone. Terrence Williams, that's our issue with Terrence Williams right now. We can't cut him because if we cut him, we lose more salary than we would if we keep him. I don't know how that contract got written, who the hell wrote it. Terrence Williams obviously has the greatest agent of all time, but if we cut him, we lose more than if we keep him. So that's one of the reasons they were keeping him. So we gain nothing by cutting him. We just lose that money and have to pay another player. So it's best to keep him. If he gets suspension of any kind, we can release him, cut him, and pull his salary. So that's what we're looking. That's what I think the Cowboys are hoping for, because T. Will has done nothing for the team at this point, very little. But Des Bryant coming back, that's to me is probably very unlikely, unless something happens with Terrence Williams and our offense plays bad again this weekend. And Seattle has a very good secondary. They've got a pretty good secondary, so we could get into a situation where our receivers don't play well this weekend. Hopefully we'll see Rico Gathers. I really, really want to see Rico Gathers get about 5 targets. If we can get Rico Gathers 5 targets, I think the Cowboy fans will be happy. I think 5 targets will turn into 3 or 4 catches, and I think 5 targets and 3 or 4 catches will turn into 8 targets next week, the week after against Detroit, with 6 catches, and I think that will turn into 10 targets with 7 catches. So I think it'll only grow as they start getting on the ball. Hey, Fish-Eyed Fool, what's up, brother? How you doing? Don't be worried, man. Don't be worried. I'm in hot boy mode. The Cowboys are here. We're gonna play good this week in Seattle. What you worried about? Now I missed something. It rolled through. Robert, Fish-Eyed Fool, where we at? Sorry. I'm worried Dak has to pass for more yards, and he will be screwed if we play a good team. Yeah, we do got to get the offense rolling. That's been part of the discussion at the beginning of the video, Fish-Eyed Fool. We are concerned about the offense. We do have to move the ball. We can't just rely on our defense, just like we weren't able to just rely on our offense in 2016. We're going to get to the point the defense has got to gel. It's got to come together. We got to start moving the ball, and that's only going to work if Dak uses his arm a little bit and they let him out of the cage, they push Dak out of the closet, and they say, look, either they tell him throw the ball down the field, or he goes to them and tells them I'm throwing the ball down the field. I don't know who's holding us back, but either the coaching staff is holding him back or he's holding himself back. If he's not comfortable yet or what, but there's something going on with the offense that it's just not working right now. Yeah, Terrence is safe for now. I haven't heard anything serious on his suspension. I'm hoping. I can't understand how he can do what he did, leave at the scene of a DUI, then get on a electric bicycle, ride back to the scene of the DUI he created with destruction of public property, walk away from that situation, wreck his bicycle in the street, and not not be reprimanded by the NFL. I don't under. I think they know. I think they know our situation. I think they know that if they suspend him, we're cutting him. So I think that's why they're hesitant to to suspend him. I think they're just being. I think they're trying to be shitty with Jerry Jones. Hello, Crunk. Just started watching. Hey, thanks, brother. Appreciate you jumping in. Go back and watch from the beginning. I gave a lot of good information out about Randy Gregory, David Irving. The contracts coming up with Prescott, Elliott, and Lawrence and Byron Jones. We need to start saving our money for that. That's why this Earl Thomas thing. Our secondary is playing good. If Earl Thomas falls in our lap at the right price, we do it. If he doesn't, we have to walk on and wait for him next year. I really want him this year, but that's just a situation. Seattle Seahawks are 2-0. Detroit is 2-0. Or excuse me, Seattle Seahawks are 0-2. Detroit is 0-2, and Houston is 0-2. Those are our next three games. We have to win these next three games to get a good start, get a good rhythm going. Our offense is not working well right now. So if our defense can win us these next three games, give our offense a chance to get rolling, we're going to have a good season. But these next three games is the weak part of our schedule. We've got to take care of this. So that's where I was, Robert, just to give you an update. I know you're here all the time. Fairly often, so I want to keep you guys up to speed on what was at the beginning of the video, so you're more likely to go back and catch it from the beginning. Brandon Jimenez, do you think the season would be different if they had Dez? I can truthfully tell you, I don't think we would have lost the Carolina game if we had Dez, but we would have had to have had a different Dez. Dez disrupted the huddle is what he disrupted. When you've got a young quarterback like that guy right there behind me, when you've got a young quarterback like that, you've got to have a clear thought in the huddle. You can't have people questioning you. He's got to come to the huddle. He's got to give out the play. He's got to put the play in formation. He's got to read the defense. He can't have someone coming into the huddle, trying to say, hey, get me the ball, I'm open. If you see me one-on-one, change the play. Whatever was going on, we weren't there. We weren't privileged to that information. But we know there were some things like that going on. And you can't do that to a younger quarterback. Now, it used to happen all the time with Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin. But that happened because Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman were at the same stage of their career. They were both veterans. Troy Aikman could handle that better. And nothing against Dak. He's very composed, very mature, but he can't take a Dez Bryant, a veteran on the team, coming to him, yelling at him, and doing those things when the coaching staff's not doing it, especially. He's overstepping the coach's boundaries. So I think we would have won that game if Dez Bryant was there because he could have helped Dak get on rhythm. And a lot of the quarterbacks do it. The big-time quarterbacks, when they don't have their rhythm going, when things aren't going well, they go to their ex-receiver and they let him make a play. And they'll go to their ex-receiver again a couple plays later and let him make a play. And Dez Bryant did that for us. If you watch the Packers playoff game where we lost that last Packers playoff game, Dez Bryant got us rolling. In the first half, it was 21-3, and I think it was 21-3 in the first half. We were down. And the second half, they came out, they started going to Dez, and Dez got us rolling. And when Dez got us rolling, our offense started moving the ball, we started running the ball, and we came back and we made that playoff game very, very close. And it came down to the field goals, as you guys recall. And I think, on games like that Carolina game, Dez Bryant is a guy that can get us a pass interference call. can get us a deep ball with a catch, or can break a tackle, and he has speed and strength. So Dez was an asset. It's just he wasn't fitting well personally. He didn't fit in well with the team personally, and caused some issues. And part of it was, I'm gonna tell you guys seriously what I think. Part of it was the coaching staff wasn't strong enough. If he would have been there with Chris Richard right now, and Mark Holmes said this earlier today, and I'm not trying to bite off of Mark Holmes, I promise you that. But what he said made sense, and I give him credit for saying it. And I've said it as well before. I've thought this. If we had a strong coach, the coach would have brought Dez to the side and said, "Hey, look, man, that's a young quarterback. You can't get in his face like that. Let him do his job. Come talk to me and let me talk to him. If you want the ball and you deserve it, I'll tell him, look, we got to look for Dez a little more." That's the situation. But when Dez goes and does it to the quarterback, and no one says anything to Dak, and then he does it again, or excuse me, no one says anything to Dez and says, "Hey, chill out, sit down, relax. We need you to let him do his job." It turns into a situation at work. You've got somebody complaining, and nobody's telling the guy to shut the hell up. Nobody's putting him in his place. And what they did, instead of talking to him and telling him to chill out, they just cut him. And that was the wrong thing to do. I think they did it wrong. But the fact was, he was making too much money anyways. He did not deserve 16 million this year. So that was a big reason. There was a lot of formulas with the Dez Bryant situation that warranted him being gone. If he was to come back now for 6 million, give him a million more than you give Terrence Williams. Terrence Williams, actually, I think that Terrence Williams is right around the 7 million if they cut him. Give him 7 million, and if they can cut Terrence Williams, cut him. Give Dez that money, and tell Dez, look, don't say shit in the huddle. Come to the huddle, run your route. If you get the ball, you get it. If you don't, you don't. That's the situation. But we can't have him causing confusion in the huddle, and Dak's trying to read the defense, and Dak's trying to audible, and he audibles to something Dez don't like, and Dez runs a half-ass route because he knows he's not getting the ball. So there's a lot of things that go into the Dez Bryant thing, and I get on a rant for that because I've been up and down on the Dez Bryant train. Or initially, I thought it was a good move, but now with our receiving core, I do wish we had that threat. Hopefully, Brice Butler can be that. I know Brice Butler and Dak Prescott have a good rapport. They work good together, and Brice Butler is Dak friendly, so this should work out well for us. I want to ride my bicycle. What the hell is that? Do you think Seahawks gonna play us hard just to avoid oh yeah, definitely. This is their opening, guys. This isn't a walk either. Seattle's 0-2, but this is their first home game, and this is a big thing for the Seattle fans. Their ego's on the line. And one reason the ego's on the line is because this Earl Thomas trade. And if you guys, I got most of my information by watching the Seattle Seahawks web pages. I was going through their web pages, and man, we were talking positive about Earl Thomas. They were talking negative about Earl Thomas. Now the fact that he stayed, there was a lot of people that wanted him to stay, but they were pissed that he was even considering leaving. So this Earl Thomas thing, it plays a big. This is like George Foreman and George Foreman and God dang, how can I not, Muhammad Ali, and the fight in Africa. This is what it's like to me, because these teams are meeting under conditions where they played games with each other all summer. They played games with each other in preseason. They both played games with each other in OTAs and all this stuff with the trade. It's been up and down and up and down, and this is the time to settle it and see what happens. So we'll have to watch this game this weekend very, very closely with all eyes on Earl Thomas, and all our eyes on our safeties, and see how our safety plays. Our safeties have played pretty well. Heath got beat really bad on a play. He was looking in the backfield. That was the touchdown that the Giants scored. And Kayvon Frazier has missed a few tackles, but if you guys saw the video, Chris Richard pulled him to the side and got in his face a little bit, and then gave him some encouraging words. and he got a sack this game. Kayvon Frazier is really playing well. As I told you guys before, he's my breakout player of the year. I did finally get the confirmation on the order of my jerseys today. My number one jersey ordered was DeMarcus Lawrence with War Daddy on the back. You guys know I got the freak there. So I got a War Daddy, number 90. I got Seahawks will be 0-3 after this Sunday game. Hawks will be contract with Hawks will be in a contract with Cowboys soon. I hope so. In contact. Oh, I thought you said contract. I hope so. My second jersey was Rico Gathers. Well, my second jersey ordered was Rico Gathers, number 80. My third jersey was, well, actually, my second was Dak Prescott for my wife. I've got a Dak Prescott already. I also replaced my Bill Bates jersey. I also got a Kayvon Frazier jersey and Jalen Smith jersey, and one more. Oh, I got the bad man jersey, the Aaron Rodgers. I got the dark green Aaron Rodgers bad man jersey, which you guys know we plan on lighting that on fire prior to the playoff game that I'm hoping we play Green Bay first round of the playoffs. I hope we don't have a bye, actually. I hope we win the division, and I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes, guys. I'm scared of these byes. The Cowboys just don't play well after byes. That's just, and that's what I think happened with the Carolina game. That's what happened with our playoff game with the Packers. That's what happened to our game last year after the bye, and the game in 2016 after the bye as well. We didn't play very well. So that's the news for now, guys. I want to get off so you guys can enjoy your afternoon. It's getting close to the weekend. Here we come, guys. I really think we got a good chance at Seattle. I think we got a chance at taking them down. Read over the chat box real quick. Dan Blatt, shout out to you, brother. Golden Heart, always in the house. Please subscribe to the Chunk family. I am becoming a chunk. I used to, a year ago, I looked a little different, but subscribe to the Cowboy Crunk family. Later from Cowtown. Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, we got 3 important games coming up, guys. We got to take care of this. But anyway, Stevie Mac just jumps in. One of my favorites, Stevie Mac in the house. So most people have us ranked 24th in NFL. We're definitely not that. Hey, stay under the radar, guys. We're ranked number 5th in 5th defense. Our defense is ranked 5th. I saw that we're ranked 3rd in scoring, giving up points. And we're ranked like 5th in total yards, and we're ranked 5th overall. So our offense getting going is going to help our defense. You guys know that. Our offense right now is not playing well. Too many 3-and-outs, too many penalties, and that actually is forcing our defense to have to play a little more on the field. So once our offense picks up a little bit, it's going to help our defensive numbers look even better. So here we go, guys. Let's do this. But I appreciate you guys joining in. I try to bring you good information. Always put in the chat box, guys, anything you want to talk about on the next video, and we could do that. One time for Stevie Mac in the house. You were a little late, so I got to show you. I went to the new Hot Boys look. I know you've seen it before, but I got the new Hot Boy blue cowboy shades, so I can be a hot boy on the field, off the field, in the middle of Afghanistan. I'm a hot boy. And we need to support those hot boys. And we're going to get us 10 sacks. We're going to pass Chicago up. We're 2nd in sacks right now. Chicago has 10. We have 8. Don't know who posted that earlier. I hope the stat is true because I just repeated it. But we will be leading in sacks after we chase Russell Wilson's crazy ass down. And I don't wish anything bad on him. But the dude's going to have a tough season running around like that and having to take hits from Chicago and the Dallas Cowboy Hot Boys. Russell Wilson's not going to last long like this, guys. So you guys take care. Thanks, Stevie Mac, for joining in. Sorry you're late. Get back. You should have been in. Yeah, I wish. Thanks.